Where do I begin? How about this? Beauty. Gemstones, minerals, rocks, metals, whatever you want to call them, were valued and used as jewelry all around the world for as long as 25,000 years. Be it a flex of wealth, a show of power, a holy relic, a symbol of matrimony, or whatever, on their own devoid of any context, they are things we find beautiful and important, despite their sometimes arbitrary value. After all, they are just rocks. And yet, in a niche corner of Twitter is a group of artists that have taken a liking to a little series called Land of the Lustrous. It features characters made of diamonds, sapphire, and other precious minerals. Carrying themselves with slender grace and colorful shine, these attributes are further enunciated by its fan art. Simple things like their translucency allowed for flashy refractions of light, and their nature as rocks allowed for interesting fractures. Be it in a fighting pose or in shattering defeat, their depictions are artful. A few things that made this series' fan art different than others is its extreme focus on that artful beauty, as opposed to being exciting and bombastic or hypersexualized. It's primarily serene, and there's almost a pure quality to the art that has left it widely untouched by lewd artists. Impressive. Another interesting consistency I've found in many of these drawings is how somber and wistful the expressions are. While not outrightly obvious, Land of the Lustrous is lush with upsetting ideas. Dead ends, loneliness, lost innocence, PTSD, and a lack of self-value. It's real happy stuff. Despite its bright and cheery guise, the artists I've seen on Twitter have caught on to these darker ideas and have just run with it. Never have I asked myself, with only one character, how many ways can someone depict body horror? And yet here we are, with the unfortunate vehicle for said horror, Phoofolite. A kind, well-meaning character that is hampered by weakness, purposelessness, and worst of all, stupidity. Phos seems to only unintentionally cause trouble for others, to the point where people actively lose their lives directly because of their inadequacies. It's only when Phos loses literal pieces of themselves, such as arms and legs, that they gain any semblance of recognition and praise from their friends. They're stronger, faster, and a lot smarter, and these are all really positive qualities, but this slippery slope only grows and grows as they keep losing pieces until Phos is no longer themselves. The amount of mental anguish this character suffers from is depicted in so many ways by artists, and it's frightening to see how well some of these are done. Much of it is twisting, winding, and monstrous, a far cry from the innocent Phos they begin as. There's also a lot of drawings depicting that contrast side by side. As great as these are, however, one artist has stood out the most to me. QuanXiaHanYan, an artist from China, made several breathtaking fan art of Land of the Lustrous. Not only have I never seen an art style quite like this, but its stronger deviation away from anime gives the character Phos a unique look. There's an otherworldly feel to many of these drawings. It's ethereal and moody, and I seem to have a weakness for that type of style. Looking at other aspects, since QuanXiaHanYan knows Phos is a rock, they applied an incredible sheen to Phos's body, as well as an impressive amount of detail, like in the shine of an eye, where you can see the individual strokes for the eyelashes. As for the splashes of gold platinum alloy, you can practically feel its texture without having felt liquid metal. It's a pure joy to look at. If we moved away from visuals and speak more thematically, then you notice that something QuanXiaHanYan does well is juxtapose beauty with horror. Many of the drawings show Phos crumbling as flowers and butterflies erupt from their head. We see exactly that in a drawing titled Loneliness. It so perfectly encapsulates the vulnerability and emptiness they must feel. Phos believed that greater strength, speed, and intelligence would make them better off, but they're far from it. It almost makes me afraid to see what expression Phos is making underneath that swarm of butterflies. So, what is all this? What's the point of all this beauty and horror and creepiness? Well, I'm not quite sure. I've been doing a lot of thinking as to what this series is supposed to mean, or what all of this fan art is trying to communicate, especially because I don't think it's being edgy for the sake of being edgy. I think there's something deep or artful in there, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's a cautionary tale about chasing dreams and never living in the present, or something about self-love and not giving up pieces of yourself to be useful to others. Regardless, the fan art of this series is something to behold and stands out as a unique fan base of artists. Be it a drawing of an emotional, broken visage, or a stupid drawing of Phos eating a burger, I will be there. And I hope you will too. Thanks for the watch, guys. Sub to the channel for more videos, and follow me on Twitter for updates and all that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.